All right, what's up everybody? Welcome to the knee slice instructional. We're gonna get started today with how to get our opponent into a knee sliceable position. There are two major categories of positioning that is required to initiate your knee slices. There is the supine guard, where they're on their back already, right? This is a position that you can enter the knee slice into. And then you have the seated guard, where they're here. This is another position where we can enter our knee slice into, okay? So the major situation is having one leg in between their legs. So you have your leg, their leg, your leg, their leg. Go ahead and sit down just for a second. Just like this. My leg, his leg, my leg, his leg. If he was on his back, again, we have my leg, his leg, my leg, his leg, okay? So that is the start to the instructional. We're gonna start there and then go as deep as we can into this knee slice position for you guys. All right, so the first category is how to knee slice with a seated guard, okay? So he's gonna be seated here. The goal to knee slice from this position is to have a deep step into the far side leg, right? My shin is gonna lock into his knee pit as deep as I can, and to have an underhook on that same side, okay? With this underhook, we wanna have a nice sticky underhook, okay? So we're not trying to go elbow deep here because we can't pin the shoulder as well. We wanna grip behind the shoulder and drive it into our bicep, just like this, okay? Let's show that from the other angle. Got a deep step with my shin into his knee pit. Underhook, glue his shoulder to your bicep. All right, we don't want to give him any opportunity to pummel here. If I'm loose here, he's going to be able to pummel in and get his underhook and start to, get his game going. Okay, so sticky underhook, deep step. Okay, now if we switch back around here, in order to get this knee slice going, we're gonna step deep, get the underhook. My goal is to drive this knee to his far side hip, okay? So I'm driving my knee down, getting his shoulder to the mat, getting my crossface, and then bringing the leg through for the pass, okay? So getting into this toilet bowl position isn't as easy as it sounds. I'm sure you guys know that. So let's go ahead and start. We started with what we need. Now let's actually talk about how to get into that position, okay? So I can step deep if it's open and get the underhook. That'd be great, especially if they're kind of out with their arms. It's pretty easy to just step, and then I can initiate the knee slice, right? What if they don't make it so easy on us? Let's start with the first example where he kind of closes off his legs, okay? If he closes off his legs, what he's doing is two things. One, he doesn't have good balance this way, all right? So if I snap him with his feet out, he has these posts to run into. If his feet are close, I snap him and he's kind of like a bobblehead, right? So there's kind of two options. We can push and then he goes back in, and I can step up. That's a good option. Or I can snap, and as he goes to reset, step in, okay? So again, if those feet are closed off, I can snap to open up those feet, and then as he goes back, step in. Or I can go ahead and close off again. I can push, and then as he steps up, get in there. Now, that can work, that can't work, okay? So we'll show you some other options. Another option is to sidestep. I just call it a cross step. I cross step because in order for him to square up with us, look what he has to do with his feet. He's got to post. Do you see how he posted with that outside foot? Let's go ahead and show that from a different angle here. Yeah, this outside. So if I step, look, he's got to post with that outside leg to square up with him. And that's going to open up his legs. If he doesn't post, then we just get the pass, right? So he's gonna have to square up with us. So cross stepping as he posts, step in. Okay, another option. Cross step as he posts, step in. Find that underhook as well. Okay, so those are a few options on how to get into the. Okay, let's talk about some details. All right, we talked about the butt low, we talked about cupping the knee, we talked about this big frame here. Now, when I go to initiate this pendulum step, notice how his leg shouldn't move that much. See how it ran into this wall here? You've got to make sure that this is intact the whole time through. Sometimes when people start doing this, they let this frame go and that knee shield drops in and you have a ton of issues. Okay, so that's one thing. Make sure this frame stays tight, and when this knee goes north, it's gonna run into my shoulder. Just like that. Okay? This hand can go into a thumb post here if your arms are long enough, or just stay gripped. Just like that. Okay? And then we get our upper body connections, drop through and drive through. Let's talk about what zones we're looking to hit. When we're knee slicing, the fundamental rule is you never want to knee slice to the way that their hips are pointing, right? If I tried to knee slice in this way, his knee shield would drop in no problem, right? If he's facing this way, let's say I got into headquarters and I didn't turn his hips. He was just here, he's gonna drop that knee slice in and I'm stuck. So what we're doing with this is we're turning his hips this way. When we cut across, what we're looking to do is go, there's these little zones. About 4 inches below the knee, 4 inches above the groin, there's these zones that allow you to maximize the hip action. If I'm too high, I guess that would maximize it, but there's potential to slip off. If I'm too low, I'm not actually moving his hips very much. Right below the knee here, I can move his hips, just like this. So when I step in, I move his hips, and then when I go this way, look, I move his hips. And what happened is my shin went from this zone, and it hopped across the border of his spine to this zone. Boom, boom. I help that action out with my hands. So notice, remember when I talked about this motion? Being able to slap with the wrist, pull with the fingers. I'm here, I'm pulling. Along with my hips, now I'm really gripping his hips that way. Okay? And that allows him to create all this space. Some principles I want you to take away. Never knee slice in the direction his hips are already looking. And whenever you're knee slicing, you're trying to get his hips as wide as possible before you knee slice. If his hips are wide, one, he's stretched out, his posture's broken. And two, this knee shield has so much farther to go. With the knee shield, see how close his knees are. So I'm allowing his knees to be far away. Another reason for taking his knee this way is that in order to drop his knee shield in on this other side, look how far it has to go, right? If I tried to knee slice from here, the knee shield doesn't have to go very far, right? But here, boom, it has so far to go. And now I can finish that knee slice. Okay, so those are a few finer details. Guys, how you really make your money in this sport is the details. So really try to pick up pulling the knee, getting that frame in tight, and really creating big action with his hips. All right, you're gonna be able to move faster than his hips there in that situation. You guys have it. If you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe. We're on our way to 5,000 subscribers. Help us out, and also check us out on Patreon.